Well, Campbell, happy 3 years with your girlfriend.
Is that how you want to open this
That's how I
episode?
want to start. Guys, Campbell has been in a relationship for 3 years.
It's probably 3 years and 1 month.
And 1 month. And 1 month. Campbell, thoughts, feelings, comments? 3 years in a relationship. Do you want the white picket fence? Do you want the children running around the backyard? What's happening? Where's your head at?
I think I'm very young.
You are very young.
So I think there's...
Say, Drake, I hear you like I'm young. You better not ever go to cell block 1.
Quoting Kendrick Lamar on Drake beef is crazy to start from talking about my girlfriend of my 3 years. But
happy 3 years.
Thank you.
3 laps around the sun. Did you do a post where it's like 3 laps around the sun?
We didn't do any
Earth?
posts.
Oh.
We didn't do
Yeah, no, because we would have seen it.
We didn't need to celebrate for other people. We celebrated for ourselves. It was great. We had dinner in Subiaco. I bought her, we went to Found. It's a new brewery in Subiaco. I had a burger.
You find it?
No, we normally go there for work on Fridays for lunch. I know they had a banging burger. So Emily got the burger as well and she loved it. So we had a burger each at Found and then it's like a double patty cheeseburger with like some cool pickles in it. So yeah, we had that and then we went to Astral Weeks, a vinyl bar in the city, and I had a drink for the first time in a year, and Emily also had a drink with me and we celebrated. I got very drunk off one drink because I hadn't drunk in a long time. And then
I remember my first beer.
and then I drove home. There's real bravery. There's bravery and then there's real bravery.
Is that bravery or stupidity? Probably should be
I was
telling.
sobered up by the time
You don't
I was
know
drunk.
Cooper Lindsay could be listening to this podcast. He could arrest you on the spot.
No, so I had one drink and then I was a little bit tipsy, but then I had a full bottle of water, waited an hour and a half, and then I was good to drive home.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah, it was nice.
Happy 3 years.
Thank you.
Sorry, I'm just very emotional.
How come?
What's it like?
Are you going to be vulnerable today?
What's it like?
Are you going to be vulnerable
No,
today?
I'm just saying, what's it like 3 years in a relationship?
It's good. It's
Yeah.
good. You really grow, especially at these younger ages, starting off as teenagers and becoming young adults.
Sorry, I can't stop crying.
No,
Any advice to lonely people out there
um,
as a person with a 3-year relationship?
I think the key to
Shout out Emily, by the way.
I think the key to a relationship.
Shut up. I don't want to hear about it. No, I'm kidding. Keep going.
I think the key to a relationship is definitely you got to stick by each other, not when times are good, but when times are really hard and bad and tough as well, because that's what makes a relationship. It's working through your issues and being there for each other at your highest, but also at your lowest. And I think being there for each other at your lowest and working through it and helping each other get through tough times makes you so much closer and makes a relationship stronger and really builds kind of like the right foundations for it to flourish. Are you all right, Gianni?
Yeah. Good.
Did you like my answer?
It's beautiful.
Are you actually all right?
Yes. I'm just a good actor.
You got a few tears in the eyes.
I know, I'm a good actor. I've put away fake crying. I'm just so happy. Do you actually think I'm not okay?
Mentally.
Emotionally.
Emotionally.
Physically, I'm good.
Physically, you're good?
Physically, I'm good.
Emotionally, yeah.
Wow.
But you probably don't want to talk about it on the podcast, do you?
What? I'm good. No,
but like your recent love life experiences.
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly my point. Exactly my point.
You've been with Francesca in the house in Tuscany?
And the 2 kids
And the
running
2 children
around.
running around?
When you go truffle hunting with
I haven't
the
been
pigs.
back. I haven't been back. The pigs are hungry because I haven't been taking them out to go truffle hunting. No, that's so lovely. Did you use the train? Did you get on the Fremantle line?
I drove. I somehow found a park in Northbridge. It was crazy.
No, Astral Weeks is great. Great Van Morrison album as well.
Oh, bless you. Why do we say bless you when you sneeze?
Is this a segue? That was really smooth segue. So we're done talking about your 3-year relationship?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. I'm sick of it. I was sick of it anyway. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
But that is a curious question I had. I thought about it the other day because someone sneezed and I heard a bless you.
Well, it's decorum, right? But I always have to make sure I do it. Even if it's someone random in the office, I always make sure I say bless you because it's the best way to
No one blesses me when I sneeze.
Really?
I never feel blessed.
You don't deserve a blessing.
But seriously, where has that originated from?
Is it got to do with like, that's the demons escaping the body? A sneeze is the demons escaping the body and then people are like, oh, bless you. It's definitely got religious origins. It's got to have religious origins.
But which religion claims the credit on sneezing?
I think Jehovah's Witnesses.
Mm.
Yeah, I've spoken to a few of my Jehovah's mates, and they say that.
So could we normalize blessing people without them sneezing?
Well, I guess so, but like I often sneeze quietly as well. So should you be more aware of people sneezing
Well, there are
silently?
different types of
when you're-
sneezes. There's the loud sneezer, there's the quiet sneezer, there's the I'll run into another room to sneeze because I don't want to be sick in front of other people. What type?
Well, that's probably why. It's probably goes back to like a plague or something like that. When people sneeze, they're like, "Oh no, bless you," because they knew they were going to die. Maybe that's why.
Or they're blessing them in hopes that they'll get better.
In hopes that they'll get better, but like probably
That's
like
actually a
plague
really good
time.
thought.
Yeah. Well, I'm a smart guy.
Do you run into another room when you sneeze?
No, I do it in front of everybody. I don't bring my hands to my nose either. Achoo! Why did Dad sneeze so loudly? my dad is like, "Ah!" You know that meme where it's like when Dad starts sneezing, like, "Ah!" Yeah.
I've seen this video of this Russian guy that like sneezes and his whole body just gets covered in snot.
What about when people sneeze with their eyes open, their eyes pop out? Apparently that's the thing.
What?
I think it's bullshit. That's why your eyes always closed, because if you sneeze and you keep your eyes open, apparently your eyes pop out. Sneezing. Sneezing decorum in general is kind of like, it's something that you just don't touch. You just don't mess with. Bless you. It's just a nice thing to do, I guess, because...
Well, the other thing I had a question about was, what is normal in terms of in a formal setting? Is it shaking hands? Is it kiss on the cheek to say hi? Is it a hug? Because someone at work...
I know we've talked about it, like normalized handshaking between cross-gender handshaking. I've been doing it everywhere. Just handshaking like crazy.
And
if I'm meeting someone for the first time, I'm not going to go in for a hug. That's weird. Just handshakes.
Yeah, but occasionally you get the girl that goes, "Ooh, you didn't give me a hug. That's so weird."
Yeah, and I'm like, "Oh, so what? Like, we're not equals?"
Touche. We haven't progressed in society enough to be able to have non-awkward
intersexual handshakes.
Intersex handshakes.
Intersexual.
We got to be progressive.
Yeah.
So I had a juicy topic for today's episode.
Oh, so the sneezing wasn't the juicy topic.
No.
Wow, that was so juicy.
I just thought I would talk about it.
Okay, juicy topic. Go.
Someone at work has asked me to do a topic, and they were like,
crowdsourcing.
No, but someone at work was like, "Oh, if you've seen this, like once you watch this movie, tell me because I'll give you some good content for it, like for your podcast." And she said the movie was How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Oh, no.
So how to lose a guy in 10 days? Like, what are some things that would really put you off? So if you're in the market, right, the dating market, I wouldn't know after 3 years.
I wouldn't know either. I've been in a relationship with Francesca for 10 years.
So if you're going on a date, what are like some instant things that would happen that just make you lose interest?
About red flags.
Yeah, but we're putting a nice spin on it.
Yeah, because we don't like red flags.
No, we like losing guys in 10 days.
This is how to lose a guy or girl. This is both.
No,
this is
intersex.
This is intersex.
No.
Intersection.
For you, if you're in the market, right, you're on a date, what is something that's like an instant...
I wouldn't go to the market for a date.
You're in the dating market. What's something that makes you lose interest straight away?
This is just a nice way to do red flags, but How to Lose a Guy... I really wish I watched How to Lose a Guy in 10
Matt
days.
McConaughey.
If they are... I don't know. I don't prepare this. I don't like to think about this very much. I don't have to think about this very much.
Yeah, okay. Well,
because I don't date very often.
In your previous experiences, has there ever been a situation
I've
where
never
that's
really
happened?
had a bad date.
Well, what makes a good date?
Oh, actually.
You have had a bad
if they're
date.
French.
If they're French.
Can't
Yeah, you can.
No.
Celia's never going to watch this, Gianni.
Don't name drop her.
Celia's never going to watch this.
Don't name drop my lommel. No.
It's like going to Venice. going to Venice with a French love interest.
Shut up.
Well, tell me about a bad date.
No, I don't.
Just the conversation's not flowing? Or?
Yeah, well, I mean, usually I'd probably be doing most of the talking anyway, but like if they can't compete with my talkingness, my openness and my communication. If they're not on the same level of communication, it's
I'd say
it's
when you start
tricky.
getting lectured on protein, like on like how to do nutritional like protein and stuff. Yeah.
So people must hate going on dates with you then.
No, just Emily does it and I tell her.
Really? Why? Don't you tell other people about that?
No, because I'll go because I'm a guy, right? And
Did you say protein?
Yeah. Cool name. No, so I'll say to Emily like, oh, like these are the like good whole foods to have. You should like, have them as staples in your diet, and then Emily will say yeah, and then
you shouldn't eat staples. No.
Emily will go, yeah. Like, agreed, that sounds great. And then 2 months later, someone else will tell her it and she'll start telling me it as if I'm hearing it for the first time.
That's good. I like that, Emily. Keep it up.
Oh, man. Grinds those gears.
Does it?
Grinds those gears.
So is that how you'd lose a girl in 10 days?
I don't know. It's not actually that good of a segment.
It's just red flags,
yeah, it's
really.
just red flags.
I mean, I think we've talked about this before, though, haven't we? It's all about communication, babe.
Should we ask ChatGPT?
How to lose a guy in 10 days. Yeah, go ChatGPT. This is a good segment, actually. ChatGPT says. Has many people podcasted this?
Hey, Juniper, could you please give me some topics/things me and Gianni can talk about right now on our podcast with how to lose a guy in 10 days and things that really put guys off girls in dates.
And girls off guys.
Do girls off guys after.
Sure thing. Here are a few topics you and Gianni can discuss for the podcast. Misleading or exaggerated personas.
She sounds
How
pretty.
pretending to be someone you're not can backfire. 2. Overly clingy behavior. Discussing how being too available too soon can be a turnoff.
That is a big
3.
one.
Playing hard to get. Exploring if this classic
That's
move
the
still
opposite.
works today or if it just confuses things. 4. Talking about exes. How bringing up past relationships can ruin the vibe. 5. Communication faux pas. Missteps in communication that can cause misunderstandings. Would you like more ideas or details on any of these?
Yes.
Please give me 3 ludicrous examples.
Ludicrous going
Absolutely.
in for the risk of
Here are 3 ludicrous examples. Bringing a list of baby names to a first date. Discuss how jumping the gun on serious topics can make things awkward. 2. Insisting on a surprise pet adoption on a second date. Imagine the chaos of showing up with a puppy or kitten without warning. 3. Organizing a flash mob proposal after a week of dating. Over-the-top gestures that can overwhelm and scare off a date. What do you think of those?
Can I ask a question? Which AI is this?
It's ChatGPT Plus.
Oh my
like the
God.
proper version.
What's her name?
Juniper. Just press the mic button when you're done talking.
Hey, Juniper. How does one get a girlfriend? Hey,
Hi.
hey, Juniper. Hey. She sounds really pretty. Hey, Juniper. How does one get a girlfriend?
Hey, it's all about being yourself and finding someone who appreciates you for who you are. Start by getting to know people and being open to new experiences. Is there anything specific you'd like advice on?
Thanks, Juniper. That's really advanced. That was good. They were ludicrous examples. Imagine rocking up with a cat on the second date.
Do you want to go through them or do you want to ask Juniper anything else?
No. Well, unless you want to ask Juniper something else.
Juniper, if I was to give Gianni some advice on what he could do on a date for it to be successful, what would I tell him?
I know. I've good date places.
Encourage Johnny to be himself, actively listen, and show genuine interest in his date.
I do that.
It's also great to plan something fun and relaxed to help both feel comfortable.
Like?
Anything specific you'd like to add?
How do you break the ice? How do you feel comfortable on a date together?
Breaking the ice can start with light, fun conversation topics or shared activities. Humor can also be a great tool. Doing something
Oh, I'm good at
interactive
that.
or
I'm
visiting a
hell funny.
place with shared interests can help both of you relax and enjoy.
Ask if the zoo's a good. Ask
Is
if going to the
truffle
zoo's good.
hunting a good idea for a date?
Yes.
Truffle hunting could be a unique and exciting date idea, especially if you both enjoy the outdoors and trying new things. It definitely makes for a memorable experience.
What about going to the zoo? Ask about going to the zoo on a date.
What about going to the zoo?
And what enclosures?
Going to the zoo can be a fun and relaxed date idea. It's a great way to spark conversation, enjoy the outdoors, and learn something new together.
What animals at the zoo?
What animals at the zoo should Gianni and Francesca see?
They should definitely check out the big cats, like lions or tigers, the playful
Wow.
primates, and the exotic birds. Penguins and elephants are always
You can't just
favorites
name
too.
all the animals at the zoo.
What's the best animal for them to see?
The best animal might be the elephants. They're majestic, fascinating to watch, and there's usually a lot to learn about them, making for a great shared experience.
Thank you.
How can we make the zoo romantic?
You're welcome. To add a romantic touch, consider packing a picnic to share at a scenic spot in the zoo. Also, take a leisurely stroll through the quieter areas and enjoy the day together.
Is there anything else in general we should know before we proceed with our podcast?
Remember to keep the conversation natural and engaging. Have fun and be yourselves. Your genuine excitement will resonate with your listeners. Good luck and enjoy recording your podcast.
Well, that was ChatGPT on some dating advice.
That's crazy. It's crazy. It's like we have a guest on the podcast. That's how good that was.
Was it?
Now I know to go to the zoo and see the elephants.
So say like we get you in the market, right?
I don't want to go to the market. Oh, damn it. I don't want to go to the market, Campbell.
No, the dating market.
Which market? The farmer's market?
The dating market.
Oh, the dating market.
The dating market.
How does one become part of the... Is it like the labour force where you have to be actively participating or not actively participating in the labour force in the dating market?
I think you have to be actively participating for it to be a booming industry.
But how do you actively... You don't have to get like dating apps to actively participate because you know what we say about dating apps.
What do we say about dating apps?
Not good things.
Well, I have no comment because I don't use them because I'm in a relationship.
Someone was talking about dating apps and saying that people are becoming so vain and also going for really selfish and narcissistic people because dating windows are so short that people are so worried about impressing new people all the time that it makes people just, so vain and superficial, so worried about. So it's a really big issue. And so people are attracted to the more superficial people as well because they're the ones that are trying to dress themselves up.
I've thought of a conundrum for you.
Yes. What did you think of my take?
Very good take. So say you've got your zoo date set up. You've got the typical Francesca date and you're going to the zoo.
What's the typical Francesca date?
Like you've got a date with a woman going to the zoo. Like your Italian
Why
wife.
Why do we always end up talking about
But I've got a conundrum for you.
Okay.
Let's paint the picture. You're on your date to the
What
zoo.
enclosure are we at?
No, you haven't started the date.
Oh, okay.
You pick up your date. You hop out of the car. You open the door. We've just talked about this. Are you shaking her hand or are you giving her a hug?
Was that our first date?
Yeah. Because if you shake the hand, you're giving friend, you're giving business, you're not giving romantic.
I think it needs to be a hug there in that situation because shaking hands is you have to make your intentions clear, obviously.
So a hug?
Yeah, you have to be affectionate.
This is kind of like a youth thing that's different to the older generations. We always do hugs, whereas all the adults always do the kiss on the cheek. So
there is a chivalry part of that, but I don't know.
What is the point in your life where you start doing kiss on the cheeks instead of hugs?
I feel like it's just like a generational thing.
Or you think we're always going to be huggers?
It's not so much a growing up thing. Well, because like, why does that happen? Like what? I don't know. No, I think it will happen at a certain point, but it's just, I just don't see it happening. Everyone hugs and doesn't
So you
kiss.
think we're just going to hug forever?
Maybe. I'd like that. No, I don't know. It's a good point. It's something I have thought about a little bit. Maybe people get to a certain age when they start getting wives and like girlfriends for like 3 years and stuff.
Because let's break it down. You have 4 options. You have a handshake, you have a kiss on the cheek, you have a hug, and you have nothing. Nothing is the worst.
You could stand with your arms by your side. That's fun.
You just stand there.
Go, hi. This
Like
is my
a bowling
car. This
pin.
is my car. Do you want to go to the zoo now? Would you go to the zoo on a first date?
Well, my housemate said a first.
Hey, look, the meerkat.
This is something we disagree on. My housemate, like you and me disagree on. My housemate said a good first date idea would be, I've got to buy like a suit. Can you help me go suit shopping?
Terrible idea.
I think that's a great idea. If you're listening,
Robbie McGregor.
let us know if this is a good idea or not to go suit shopping together on a first date for Gianni.
I wouldn't. I'd rather get a drink.
We also had two comments.
Probably says a lot about me.
We only had 2 comments for what location we should film a podcast at sometime in our lives.
Okay.
One was at the peak.
One was from Emily and one was from Robbie?
No.
Okay.
But one was at the peak of Mount Everest, which I feel like would be hard to do a podcast.
Hard pass.
And the other one was in Bali getting a happy ending. No, it was in Bali at a massage parlor in Bali was the other option. So we've got those 2 to pick from. Which one are you going to pick?
Everest. Even though I've said I'm never going to climb Everest, it's too scary.
I thought you
I
wanted
got a base camp. No, I've read the book. I've read a book called Into Thin Air by John Krakauer. It's really good. And it's the movie Everest is based off it. And it just talks about how the people that do that are the most selfish people in the world. It's just crazy.
Because the
ridiculous
chance of
amount of money.
dying is so high?
Well,
why is it
now
selfish?
it's hyper commercialized, right? So, but no, they're not selfish, but like you hear this horror story, and this is a bad year where they had terrible weather and a whole bunch of people died, and this guy who's like running the tour, who was this super safe guy, never did anything wrong because your brain's so messed up, and there's like bubbles in your brain and bubbles in your lungs, and you're not supposed to. You're above 8,000 meters, like that's above the height of a commercial jet. basically. Your human body is not supposed to, called the death zone. Human body is not supposed to cope at that level. So people just start not thinking, even if they're the most experienced. Like people will go to bottles of oxygen and see that they're empty when they're actually not, and not put them in and then just die on the mountain. So this guy, Rob Hall, it's in the movie. He calls his like pregnant wife back in New Zealand saying like, I'm not going to make it down. Can you imagine that? People pay like $60,000 to go on these things.
And the
Sherpas,
did he make it down?
No, he didn't.
So he knew he was going to die.
Well, yeah, because there's a turnaround time because the weather often comes in the afternoon. They set a turnaround time at the start. They have like a satellite phone. It's crazy. This is like 1996 as well. So it's an amazing book. It's an amazing book. You should read it. He called her
while he was on the mountain and told her he wasn't going to make it.
Yeah, and she's pregnant back in New Zealand.
And that's awful.
Yeah, it's awful. It's just so but it just proves how selfish this is now. But now it's hyper commercialized, so it's even more dangerous because you got a line going to the peak of Everest where you have to be turned around at a certain point. Otherwise, it's just dangerous to be up there. Above 8,000 meters, you're standing there in line.
And this guy just didn't make it down.
Well, he was the head. His name's Rob Hall. He was the head of the adventure consultants or whatever, Mountain Madness Mountain Madness was the other one. And what happened is this is the other part of it. People had paid so much money. Like this guy, people had paid $60,000. One guy had failed the year before and a school had like raised money for him to do it. So turnaround time's 2:00. He's going back down the mountain about 2:33. This other guy's struggling up the mountain and he's like, I have to make it to the top. I have to make it to the top. He's going to turn him around.
Himself?
Well, yeah, he's the guide was trying to convince him saying, no, you got to turn around. You turn around for your safety. You're like a few hundred meters away from Everest, which would take hours because you're moving so slowly. He's saying, you got to turn around. And the guy goes, no, I can't turn around. I got to make it. He's paid $60,000 to be here in 1996. So think about that in today's terms. And so he goes back up the mountain with him. On the way, they make it to the top. On the way back down, that guy just disappears, falls off the side of the mountain.
Which one, the guide or
not the guide, the other guy?
And what's
he'd like been struggling. You get HAPE and HACE or something like that, and it's basically like air bubbles in your brain or like fluid leaking into your brain.
Mountain.
Yeah, it just fell off the mountain. Well, in the movie they show him unclipping but they don't really know. But because you're the overexposure
so then what happened to the Rob guy?
So he just got stuck in the mountain. He couldn't make it down. He was exhausted. He was just. It sounded like.
How do we know this?
Because one of the guys, so out of 3 or 4 people, I think that made it to the peak that day of that group, there was like 12 in the group, only one of them survived. And that was this guy that wrote this book, John Krakauer. And they made the movie out of it. But this book, it's an amazing book. It's an amazing book because he explains how difficult it is operating at that level. You need oxygen, you need this, you need that, the other. Some people don't know without oxygen, it's ridiculous. But Into Thin Air, that's my book recommendation.
Yeah, and then, so how do they know?
Book I've read.
Because then he calls the wife, so then there's the context there when he knows he's not going to make it down and he's by himself on the mountain.
Well, because he's exhausted. He can't walk anymore. He's just exposed to the conditions. It's like a snowstorm at 8,000 meters. It's shocking.
And then he calls her and goes, I can't make it. And
he says, well, they're saying like, she's like, you got to make it down. He's like, oh yeah, well, I'm going to try get up. He just doesn't get up. Gets straight on the side of the mountain. A whole bunch of people died. The 1996 Everest disaster. Remember the movie with Jake Gyllenhaal and other people?
Didn't see it.
2015 Everest. It's a really good movie, but the book's even better. I'll give it to you.
And so then he just dies on the mountain.
Dies on the mountain.
Not a good first date.
This is somebody.
Not a good first date idea.
What's it got to do with first dates?
Well, that's a very heavy turn on the podcast.
Sorry.
I was just trying to bring it back.
I'm just doing a book summary for Into Thin Air.
Yeah.
But yeah, read it. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing. Definitely not a first date recommendation then to go into Thin Air.
It's your favourite Marvel movie?
I would say the Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans.
That's not Marvel.
Is it not?
No, it's Sony. Well, they bought them now, so that's why he was able to come into like No Way Home or whatever, Far From Home. But originals are Sony. They're classics. Sam Raimi's Spider-Man were actually really, really funny because they had like a little bit like a weird humour to them.
Yeah, the Tobey Maguire-tism.
Tobey Maguire. What is that? What is that? Like they just had some
it's
sort
just
of weird.
Like there's a little bit off about him.
Yeah, it's something, he's done the.
Yeah.
When he's the black Spider-Man.
Where he's like, I'm going to put dirt in your eye.
And they had J.K. Simmons as well, who's like the
Whiplash guy.
What's it? Yeah, but what's Spider-Man's name? Parker.
What's your favorite Marvel movie?
I mean, I remember when Infinity War came out and it was like, whoa, this is the craziest thing happening. It was like the peak of Marvel superhero cinema. Now it's just dying. they really peaked too early. They should have sustained that peak. But like that thing happened.
But all
and
the
then,
actors
like,
were on
after, it's
contracts
been-
and they're like,
yeah.
like Robert Downey Jr. couldn't film other movies while he was in his Marvel contract.
But that's like from the start of Marvel to Infinity War. That's like the peak. And then they tried to do the phase thing. But I haven't watched I can't remember after Endgame or whatever it is. I don't remember watching a Marvel
She-Hulk.
movie. I think they've been really bad. Yeah, She-Hulk. She-Hulk. I was just disappointed that She-Hulk wasn't the one that killed Thanos.
Did you hear that Tom Holland and Zendaya are engaged?
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, but once they have kids, they've both said they're going to stop acting.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Lies.
So we've got to hurry up
You
with
got to
June
keep
3.
You got to keep a stable. Yeah, get June 3 out there quick. Yeah, no. Tom Holland saws that Zendaya, Timothy Chalamet chemistry and wrapped it up real quick.
I just love the new Batman.
Yeah. I love the Penguin.
If there was a movie that you could just rewatch over and over, like
Godfather.
and you just pull into it. No, because The Godfather's more like a once every couple of years because it's
no, I could keep
it's such
watching
a
it.
long watch.
I started watching Gladiator last night. I've never watched Gladiator before.
What?
That's really bad. It's really bad that I've never watched it
Okay.
before.
So swinging back to dates, and it is good content. Trust me. Just
I don't
bear
have to
with me.
always talk about my dates. that I
No,
don't
bear
go
with
on.
me. It's linked. It's me. It's not you.
Okay.
It's not you. It's me.
Are you not entertained?
Did you finish it?
No.
Okay. Anyways,
He dies at the end though, no.
I'm going on a date tonight with Emily.
Great.
We're going.
So happy for you.
We're going to watch the new Nosferatu movie.
Oh, I heard it's quite good.
And
Yes.
so here's a.
Because Lily Rose Depp, is that why?
Well, yeah, that's Emily's
Yeah.
favorite actor. But here's a hot topic.
Okay.
I hate horror movies.
Nosferatu, hot or not?
Well, I'll tell you later.
The guy with the long nose?
I'll tell you. Here's a hot topic.
Yeah.
I hate horror movies.
Is it horror or is it like a thriller?
I like thrillers.
Because it's by Robert Eggers, who's actually quite a good director. He's like The Lighthouse.
I like the serial killer
Film
sort
noir.
of.
Oh, yeah.
I like a Seven, like with Morgan Freeman and Brad
That's
Pitt.
great,
I
that's
like a
great.
thriller like that. But when it comes to like horror, I hate it. And this is why. When I'm watching a movie, I want to chill out. I want to like relax, unwind, take my mind off all the thoughts that are going on and just focus purely on what I'm watching. Like it's a really good way for me to kind of just like wind
Yeah.
down at the end of a day, like and really just chill out. I love it. Horror movies get your heart rate up. I hate the feeling of my heart rate being up and I'm stressing out over watching something when the whole point of me watching something for me is to relax.
But I think that's part of it. It's like the escapism of that is that you're thinking about something that's completely unrealistic, but suddenly you're like in this world and you're escaping. I mean, obviously, you're not thinking about scary real life problems. You're thinking about a scary supernatural problem. And then, it's kind of different. So I think it activates maybe another part of the brain. It's not the same.
And this is why I don't enjoy it because I thoroughly enjoy like watching, even it's the Batman or Dune or Lord of the Rings. Those are like my go-tos for like a world building. Like those are like my go-tos for like a great experience. And I feel like horror movies, it's not enjoyable. I don't enjoy it. But I'm going tonight because Emily loves Lily Rose Depp and she really wants to watch this. And I thought I'd be a good boyfriend and say, yes, we'll go. We're going to the Regent
you're gonna be
Cinemas. I think it's
scared.
called the Regent or the Regal, the one in Leederville down
Yeah.
the road. So we're going to that. And
Are you going to be scared, Campbell? Are you going to be scared? Do you want to cuddle?
I don't think it's
It's not.
I don't think it's about being scared. I think it's more about just like not chilling out because it's kind of like it's my therapy. It's my mental health like
time.
Yeah. Is chilling out watching a movie.
Well, just see how you go because it's actually a remake of a silent film, a very famous silent film from the 1920s. I think it's a French silent film noir. And yeah, apparently it's been really amazing.
Well, this is the thing with movies. It's like as much as movies are great for that, they're very long. So I've actually got a tip, a hack to be able to get that chilled experience on a daily basis. And this is what I've found recently. The Batman animated cartoon series from the 90s.
I'm not watching that.
20-minute episodes is the perfect way to finish a day. So I'll finish my day, I'll read a book or whatever, and then say I'm going to bed at 9:30. 9 o'clock, I'll just chuck on a 20-minute episode of Batman. There's closure because it's like each episode's got its own little storyline against the villain. It's relaxing. It takes your mind off everything. And it's only 20 minutes. It's not time consuming, so it's not taken away from your sleep. I really recommend it. It's great.
I guess the fact that it's got closure in every episode means that you're not going to binge watch it. I think that's the thing. Because every TV show now is built so that you want to just skip. And because it's so easy to, you can just press, skip next episode so easily. Every show now. But there used to be shows, I reckon The Sopranos did it best apparently, that at the end of each episode, or they only show the episodes on Sundays. So during the whole week, what would happen is people would be discussing what's going to happen in the next week. And I reckon shows like that, like the Penguin, they had an episode discussing every week. So people online are talking about what's going to happen. People form their ideas of what's going to happen. That adds so much to the show throughout its run.
But you know what? That's great if you're watching it up to date because you can't watch the next episode because you got to wait a week.
Yeah,
so you watch an episode and you wait a week.
But other shows just release the whole thing.
Yeah, but then you find yourself watching 3 episodes until midnight. And
but they're built, and they're also built so they lead into the next one. There's no finality. That's what you say. Sopranos would have like hour-long episodes and there'd be a finality to it. They're not like, oh my God, cliffhanger, what's going to happen next? There's always a finality to the episode.
I think that's where The Walking Dead falls short.
I've never watched The Walking Dead.
There's always problems, man. There's always issues.
There's always something at the end. It's like, hey, look, we just made it to this settlement, and then someone's like, oh, I'm a zombie, and then next episode,
the entire show.
But they did it week by week as well, right? So that's another thing. You could do that, and then people are like, oh my God, Jeffrey's a zombie, and then
but
talk about it for a week.
You need to chill out, you know?
Yeah, sometimes you just got to chill, bro.
Yeah, but Batman's so cool.
You love Batman.
Batman, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, June.
Star Wars, really?
Yeah. I'm wearing a Star Wars shirt for the audio listeners.
Do you like the new Star Wars TV shows?
No, Disney's ruined. Don't get me started. Disney's ruined Star Wars. Anyone that argues otherwise.
Yeah.
Like there's only 6 Star Wars movies.
Nosferatu.
So I'm actually kind of excited to re-give horror movies a try and just try and enjoy it.
It's a weird horror. I don't know if I think it's like it's more of a thriller, is it?
I've heard it's just like vampire dating.
No, I think it's deeper than that. It's not like the Vampire Diaries. Who told you that was the vampire dating?
I saw a comment on Instagram about it.
Let's see. I'm going to see what it's. Can you imagine? This is the original. Can you imagine seeing this in 1920? How scary that would be?
What do you think about movies as a first date versus a restaurant versus like an activity? Because there's so much context around. Like, do you go for a dinner on a first date because is it going to be too awkward? Or do you watch a movie because then you're just going to sit there in silence? Or do you?
What are you going to know? What are you going to learn
do you
about?
Have a coffee?
What are you going to learn about your chemistry and about the other person if you're in a movie?
So what are what are good interactive things you could do?
I think drink, the classics, drink or coffee is one of the best things you can do.
What about like fencing? Curling? Where you do the thing where you curl and then you like scrub what's ever in front of it until it hit.
Yeah, because that's a normal first date thing to do.
Well, what are some
You're
other?
in Perth, Australia, where it's 40 degrees. No, I genuinely think you have to just keep it simple. You have to have something where you're sitting face to face, talking, seeing how you interact.
You do like a pottery class?
There has to be no way of escaping interactivity.
A pottery class where you work on one together and you put your hands over their hands where they're shaping the pottery?
That's too much. Your AI would say no to that. What's her name?
I'm pretty sure Juniper would say that's a great idea.
Juniper thinks it's
the one thing I've realized about AI is they say everything's a great idea.
Yeah, they're appeasing. Like Hitler was appeased.
Do you think people are becoming reliant on AI? Do you think there'll be a thing where people ask AI for dating advice all the time?
People are too proud and it's not developed enough.
But people are becoming lonely. And I feel like when there's a lonely and there's a need for it and it can fill a gap in the market.
Well, what's that movie with the Joaquin Phoenix and Scarlett Johansson where she's the voice? Her. I haven't seen it either, but that's an interesting concept. Maybe
or
before
Deus
its time.
Ex Machina?
Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah, that one.
Where you should be,
Have you seen that?
I haven't seen that. He builds a robot and
then he tricks a guy into coming and the robot's primary goal is to escape and the robot using that primary goal powered by AI convinces this guy that she's in love with him and she needs to be saved by him. And then do you want a spoiler or no spoiler?
Not really.
Yeah, well basically it's just how evil the robot, well not evil because it's just objective, but how evil AI can be in like disregarding humans.
No, but isn't that because of the intentions of the person that programmed the AI? Made that?
No, he just gave the AI the goal to escape and then using that goal, the AI then manipulated the hell out of a person's emotions purely to escape.
But if you're saying it's complete objectivity, that's because why would that person have those intentions to start with? To make an AI want to escape. That's a really weird thing to...
Yeah, but I feel like there's got to be some funny first dates you could do.
You go to a comedy show. If you're really trying to gauge like if their comedy is the same to you, you could go to a Fringe show.
Funeral?
I feel like none of the...
Funeral would be a good one.
If someone laughs at a funeral, you can tell that they're psycho.
I've never been.
Oh, really?
No.
I have.
How was the wake?
Good.
Anyone laugh?
Yeah. The point of a wake.
Well, you just said you
But
can't
everyone
laugh.
have
You're a
fun.
psychopath.
Huh?
If you laugh at a funeral.
No, the wake is different.
I thought it was part of it.
No, it's after you go to an event and you celebrate the life of somebody.
That's kind of beautiful.
It is beautiful.
How do you know your funeral song? What's going to be played for your funeral song?
Ante partiro. Just really basic. Time to say goodbye.
I've got my funeral song, and I've told
What is
people
it?
this.
Otis by Kanye West.
No,
and-
that would be
and
kind of
Jay-Z.
that would be kind of dope.
I invented sweat.
No, you pick some really, really niche Kanye song like verse on a feature that no one's heard before, so everyone can experience Kanye for like a fire Kanye verse for the first time.
What if Kanye had
at your
recorded one
funeral?
just for your funeral? It's like, Campbell dead, huh? Campbell so dead, huh? I kind of sound.
Jesus.
Don't you think I sounded like Kanye then?
Hurry
Campbell
up with my
dead.
damn croissant.
Campbell dead, man. I create shit music now, but I wrote this one for Campbell. Campbell dead, yo. Very sad, yo. They're gonna be croissants at the wake, yo.
It was actually Where the Streets Have No Name by U2.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah.
a nice one.
I think
I'm
for
kind of
that's a
sick of
great
that song now. Except when I hear it at your funeral, I'll be very sad.
What would your funeral
I'm trying
song
to
be?
think. Perfect Day by Lou Reed, maybe. Or Satellite of Love by Lou Reed, but that kind of is different meaning. Or Bittersweet Symphony would probably be like, that's my go-to thing when people ask me what my favorite song is. Remember that song, The Man by L.O. Black? I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man. That was the one at my granddad's funeral. It was actually really nice.
What's
That was
the one?
really big at the time. You remember that one?
Yeah.
And you can tell everybody. That was really cool.
What about All About That Bass by Meghan Trainor? I feel like there's some great
Josh
ones you
Keats
could
loves
do.
that song. That would be his favorite song.
I feel like there's some great ones you could do.
But some people probably do humorous shit like that. Like they're like just dropped kind of the Godfather theme.
Still Standing.
Yeah, it'd be funny. You got to show a bit of a sense of humor, I think, because there's obvious ones that you can do that everyone does.
Do you reckon many people do The Streets Have No Name?
I reckon the Verve. You know the Verve? The Verve have a few songs. They have
What about the
Bittersweet
Duck
Symphony.
song?
I don't know. What are you looking for? You're looking for a song that makes people think with the lyrics, you know? Like Bittersweet Symphony goes,
If you want people to think with the lyrics,
bittersweet
there's some outlandish Kanye lyrics that you could do.
Symphony. Bittersweet Symphony is good. That would be mine. I'm saying that.
Well, if you've made it to the end, thank you very much. This has been the end of a journey with recording in this studio, and I'm going to miss it. I actually really like this place. It became
it's
kind of nice and homely, and we're gonna have to really see where the wind takes us with the future of this podcast, and I'm very excited. Thank you very much for all the support lately. We've been getting a bit of growth on the socials and stuff, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you, everybody.
I'll catch you guys in the next one.
Happy dating.